All right, in this video, we're going to talk about stress. And specifically, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of stress. Even more specifically, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of stress for someone who is a pursuer of God. So whether you're actively pursuing God or you're maybe just thinking about doing it, this is a great video for you. Now, in the Old Testament, there's this guy named Jehoshaphat. He was a king, and his story is a great story to kind of give us a bridge into this conversation. It says that the armies of the Moabites and Ammonites and some of the Maonites declared war on this king, and then messengers came to him and they said, "A vast army from Edom is marching against you from beyond the Dead Sea." And so Jehoshaphat was terrified by the news. And that's kind of the verse we're going to key off of right there. And he was terrified. So it's kind of this idea of anxiety and stress, right? So maybe you can relate to that, even though this is an old story. We all have stress in our own lives that terrifies us, that, stress that grips us and kind of almost sometimes paralyzes us or immobilizes us. And here's what I want you to see here in this video. And we're going to talk about this and unpack this. Followers of God have a fundamental edge when it comes to dealing with stress. Now, I'm not trying to rub anyone's noses in it. I'm just saying if you're someone who's considering a pursuit of God, one of the reasons you should consider it is because I think it'll change the way you deal with stress. In fact, if you are a pursuer of God, your pursuit of God should fundamentally affect the way you deal with stress. Now, don't misunderstand me. It's not that Christians have less stress than non-Christians. Everyone has the same amount of stress. Christians are not exempt from stress. In fact, stress has both a good side and a bad side. Now, the bad side is obvious. You can check out the link there to WebMD where it says stress can play a part in problems such as headaches and high blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, skin conditions, asthma, arthritis, depression, and of course, anxiety. In fact, there's another link there that you can check out that shows you all of the different effects of stress on your body. And so it's no wonder that stress is like a $300 billion with a B, $300 billion industry every year in our country. Now, that's the bad side of stress, but there's also a good side of stress. Stress causes us to, sort of have adrenaline. In fact, the stress hormones come from the adrenal gland. And scientists say that our early ancestors, this was a good thing because if they didn't have those hormones, if they didn't have stress, then they probably couldn't have outrun the mastodon when it was chasing them down to step on them. But for pursuers of God, there's something more for us to recognize. And this is kind of the point. This kind of is leading to the benefits of stress in the life of a Christian. God uses stress to teach us dependence upon Him. Now, another word for this word dependence is trust. And if you've ever taken our foundation series, you'll see that we say the very first thing, the most foundational thing that a Christian does is trusts Jesus. That doesn't just mean that you trust Jesus for salvation. It also means that in life, one of the things that marks us as different is that we trust Jesus in every situation. And so stressful situations are opportunities for us to depend upon God and lean on Him even more. And that's exactly what happened in the case of Jehoshaphat. So let's go back to that passage. He prayed this prayer in front of all of his people. "Oh God, won't you stop them? We are powerless against this mighty army that is about to attack us. We do not know what to do, but we are looking to you for help." Now, there's the key verse right there. If you want to memorize a verse this week, we do not know what to do, but we're looking to you for help. That is a prayer of dependence. That is a prayer that's saying, God, I'm not ready for this. I don't know what to do. This is overwhelming, but I'm looking to you for help. Now, you can go back and read the rest of that passage and see what happened to King Jehoshaphat and how God delivered the army. It's a pretty cool story, but I don't want you to get the wrong idea. The point isn't that God will deliver you from all of your stresses and all you have to do is pray and He's going to answer every prayer request exactly how you want to. Obviously, that's not the benefit of stress. Stress is still going to come. The benefit of stress is that God has given you the strength and the power to deal with it and to get through it and to get on the other side of it, depending more on God. And so that means that the proper response to stress is to face it, not try to escape it. If you are serious about pursuing God, God wants you to step into that stressful situation and deal with it. You know, so many people who don't have sort of a biblical worldview in mind, they're just going to try to numb the pain. They're going to try to anesthetize it, whether that's drug or alcohol, some other addiction or whatever. They're going to run away from stress, but that's not what we're supposed to do as pursuers of God. We're supposed to, with God's strength, step into that stress, be willing to deal with it, and recognize that while we depend on God, He's going to give us the strength to deal with it in the right way.